AskReddit by Wikipedia. What are some of the most secret documents that are known to exist? The last sealed file of the Warren Commission. Virtually everything related to the Kennedy assassination has been declassified except that file. It comes up periodically for the president to review the classification. Trump declined to declassify it and made it Biden's problem. Yeah, it was supposed to be declassified after 50 years, and after a recent review, they said nope. Thousands of documents from WWII were classified and can only be published after 2045. I can't wait to learn what they contain. Not exactly a document, but one of the most highly sensitive individual pieces of information in the world is the private key used to sign the DNS root zone. https://www.cloudflare.com/dns/root-signing-ceremony/closed bracket dart. There are only 2 copies of this key, which are held in highly secure facilities controlled by icon. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/icon-closed-bracket-dart. Whenever one of these keys, or one of several similarly sensitive ones, needs to be accessed, which happens a few times per year, a highly elaborate and scripted procedure known as a key ceremony. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/key_ceremony-root_signing_ceremony is carried out. These are even streamed live on the internet. https://www.youtube.com/comrat-iana-org to allow for maximum public transparency during the process. Does the key ceremony go something like this? I am Vince Clotho, Keymaster of Goza. Volgus Zildraha, Lord of the Sebalia. Are you the gatekeeper? The letter of last resort. In the UK, one of the first things the Prime Minister does on taking office is write a letter of last resort, to be placed in each of the UK's nuclear submarines, that gives instructions to the captain in the event that the government entirely ceases to exist. When a Prime Minister leaves office, their letters are destroyed without ever being opened. I wonder what they did for the Prime Minister whose term was shorter than a submarine rotation. No matter who attacked us, nuke France for old time's sake. Payroll for us informants abroad. Those documents definitely exist, but the actual contents of them is definitely ultra super duper maximum secret. The knock list. I would like to point out that Christopher Lee's WWII service records are still classified, and the interview with Peter Jackson is probably the most we'll get for a while. Found it. Interview. https://yahoo.be/5tcarrck6U?mark SIC9N4_PhD-TOHXRNS. What from WWII could be worth staying classified in 2023? Whatever secrets Scientology keeps. Hubbard, I made this shit up. Nikola Tesla's documents that were taken away by the FBI after his death. Apparently Trump's physicist uncle was one of the experts given access to the papers by the FBI to see if there was anything worthwhile in them. That, in turn, led to a canon-adjacent conspiracy that either Trump or his uncle built and used a time machine based on a design by Tesla. The Epstein visitor logs. RIP, this comment just deleted itself. What it was they discovered on Mythbusters that they kept quiet about and then reported to the government. Adam Savage discussed that on a recent YouTube video on his channel. They didn't report anything, just decided to withhold certain explosive recipes, made from household items, as they didn't see any value to the public in making them known. Documents relating to government spy programs, national defense technology, etc. Coca-Cola formula. Someone from Coca-Cola actually tried to sell the formula to Pepsi in 2006. Pepsi reported her to the FBI. The one cryptowallet that has millions of dollars in BTC that's rotting away in a landfill somewhere. It was found. The owner paid to excavate the landfill using its Bitcoin as partial collateral. It had a lot less on it than he remembered. Vatican's secret archives. I first read this as Victoria's Secret Archives. Titillating. All of the journals related to George Washington's culper spy ring in the American Revolution were only recently discovered, among a number of papers in Abraham Woodhull's home in Setauket, NY. We know the names PF all the men in the spy ring and that a woman was involved, but despite its dramatization and the show turn, we have no idea who she was. I bet the Vatican has some insane stuff in its archives. Like alternative Bible stuff and old church writings. Maybe some originals or something. The most interesting items in the Vatican archives are the letters by various heads of state. Leaders of countries around the world have bared their souls to the Pope and personal letters asking for religious guidance. The Vatican seals all of those for a really long time so that the next generation of leaders has confidence that they can be open with the Pope without risking their image or national secrets. Imagine being able to read what Kennedy or Truman said to the Pope when the weight of nuclear warfare pressed on their souls. Deleted. Wow, this should be higher. This is the first new thing I've seen on this thread. MKUltra and Operation Northwoods. Makes you wonder what other things your crazy, tinfoil behatted uncle was right about. Read the electric Kool-Aid acid test. It's about what happened to Ken Kesey and the tests in California that started the psychedelic movement in San Francisco in the 60s. The CIA were indirectly responsible for the anti-war movement. Credit Suisse inquiry will keep files secret for 50 years. www.reuters.com/business/finance/credit-suisse-inquiry-will-keep-files-secret-50-years-paper-2023-07-15/closed bracket dart. Basically all the criminality will be sealed away until no one gives a shit anymore. According to the 2004 documentary National Treasure, there's something pretty important written on the back of the Declaration of Independence. I keep trying to flirt with this woman but she won't let me see the back of the document. The NKVD archive. The Russian government allowed access to some of the archive during Glasnost, but this practice shuttered when Putin came to power. Vasily Mitrokhin, a KGB archivist that defected to Great Britain, gave several trunks worth of handwritten notes on the contents of the archive to MI6. These notes form the primary sources for the book The Sword and the Shield, the Mitrokhin Archive and the Secret History of the KGB. One memorable revelation from the book is the story of what really happened to an NKVD detachment in the Odessa catacombs during the siege of Odessa. Official SVR, Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, history recounts the detachment valiantly fighting against the Germans to the last man. In reality, they descended into madness and killed each other well before the Germans even got there. I often wonder what else is in that archive. The data Unit 731 collected. The data regarding the effects of biological and chemical weapons will probably never be released even if they didn't use such inhumane methods to collect them. From what we do know, Unit 731 basically treated all their prisoners as lab rats, running sadistic experiments purely for their own curiosity and enjoyment. I doubt Japan or the US will ever reveal the documents in their possession since it highlights the brutal behavior of Japan and the blunder of granting immunity for former members of the unit. Probably the Bush's baked beans recipe or the Colonel's 11 herbs and spices. The problem with the KFC recipe is it changed pretty regularly even during the Colonel's lifetime. You can definitely buy an authentic version of it that is used in the UK, 99x. But the basic ingredients are known. https://yahoo.be/7wjyogz/siqy3-ADW5UIEM1 dart. The CIA write-up on the Kennedy op. We've investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. The embarrassing snapshot of SpongeBob at the Christmas party. Merry Christmas, SpongeBob. Whatever was in all of Sidney Gottlieb's personal files from MKUltra. Can't get much more secret than burned. The blueprints for creation of specific nuclear warheads. I can't tell you where they hide them though unless I want to accidentally shoot myself 6 times in the back of the head. Even if you get general idea about such devices from public sources and compile it into useful information, it's going to be called born secret and banned. Teleulam design. https://wiki.wikpedia.org/wiki/history_of-the_telepecent2%80%93ulam_design article is quite a read. There are 2 unconcealed CIA projects that have haunted me ever since I've read about them. What makes these projects extra scary is the suspicion that they went much deeper than what was released exposed. Project Artichoke. https://en.m.wiki.org/wiki/project_artichoke. Project MKUltra. https://en.m.wiki.org/wiki/mkultra. To go down the rabbit hole or not go down the rabbit hole? Hey, it's only 10 and I work tomorrow morning. Should be fine. The dossier detailing when Cotton Eye Joe came from and his current location. Human intelligence source info. They leak. People will die. Painfully. Now that Kissinger is dead, his personal notes and transcripts will be released by the Library of Congress in 5 years. These will detail a large amount of what happened inside the Oval Office from Saigon to Rhodesia. KFC and Coca-Cola recipes I heard are extremely well protected. Mormon, Vatican and Church of Scientology also have archives that are very well protected. We know they all exist, it's just like only a very few number of people have access. I have more of a personal knowledge of the Mormon archives. Very well protected is an understatement, but what is stored there, it's not necessarily a secret, it's just they want to protect it. The Granite Mountain Vault is the world's largest repository of genealogical records. So if you really need to protect your family Bible from a nuclear attack, you can buy a slot next door. The college playoff process. The recipe for chartreuse. After reading through these comments, I thought about George Carlin, who took notes after every show. Maybe his daughter will consider releasing them someday. Turns out Cleveland is okay. New York not so much. Just guessing. Oh damn, that would be awesome. My dad took me to see him when I was 16, late 90s. My dad gave me the warning. This will be hilarious, but there's no repeating his language. Haha. The June 7 notes and outlines. Frank Herbert's notes for his next planned book, including his Dune saga, were found by his son Brian after his death on some floppy disks. They were used by Brian and Kevin J. Anderson for the sequel novels Hunters of Dune and Sandworms of Dune, but the notes have never been released to the public. This means that fans are unsure how close those new books are to Frank's original plans and has even led to conspiracy theories. See here. https://tau.solopimo.com/viewtopic.php?1263 or here. https://tau.solopimo.com/viewtopic .php !1407 close bracket that the notes don't exist, an idea which is widespread, but unlikely. https://www.reddit.com/r/dune/comment/the_dune_eel/closed bracket. This is interesting. Also, still crazy to me, his hack of a son had his carte blanche freedom to carry on his father's legacy and created the Drek that became the rest of the Dune universe. Sigma 14. DO category for information about scenarios where the security systems that prevent the misuse of nuclear weapons are bypassed or otherwise defeated. Sigma 20. DO category for innovative or otherwise especially sensitive improvised nuclear devices. Hinds allow attackers to break into a storage facility containing fissile material and construct a crude but functional nuclear bomb on site using equipment they've either brought along or proposed. No need to abscond with the material, just set it off right there and then. Hold on. Let me look here, next to this golden toilet.